everybody, it's Mike Barron again with Green, and I'm here in my kitchen at home. And today we're going to do some slow cooking. We're going to use a pressure cooker, use a Dutch oven here, and make some caldo, make a couple other cool things. The first recipe I'm going to work with y'all today is our caldo. This is kind of a Central American caldo, maybe not a traditional Mexican style caldo, but I love caldo. And it's just a nice chunky hearty stew for the winter. I'm going to get some olive oil in there, and I've got my pot already getting hot here. This is kind of we're not going to have a lot of fat. There's no beef neck bone or anything in here, so I'm going to add a little good fat with that olive oil. Then I'm going to get a little onion in there. And again, we don't need everything to be small on this because it's going to cook down. We want a nice big chunky stew. So we want to hear that sizzle when it hits there. Get it in our pot there. Especially a pot like this, it's not a traditional non-stick pot. You want to definitely get that sizzle when it hits so you don't get all that stuff sticking in there. Then we've got just some garlic. I'm just going to give it a little rough slice. Again, this is going to cook away a good amount of time, so it's going to just evaporate in there, just dissolve into that liquid, you know. So cutting up this garlic, getting it in there too. One thing you need to remember when you're building a stew or any kind of soup is to get your layers of flavor built in there. If you just took all this stuff and threw it in a pot and you didn't take the time to saute them and get a little color on some of the ingredients, it just wouldn't quite taste the same. I can give two different people the same ingredients, tell them to make me a soup, and depending on the sequence they put it into a pot, they're going to taste different. So just want to get a little bit of color on that. Don't really want to brown them too much. Then I'm going to put some celery in there. This is basically what's called a mirepoix. Your onions, your celery, and your carrot. So just some rough chopped vegetables in there. Gives a nice. You're not going to taste the celery in there, but you would know if it wasn't in there. So there's a nice little sweetness to it. I'm going to get some carrots. I'll wash these carrots. They don't need to be peeled. Getting everything chunky. This whole stew from start to finish should take us, our caldo stew, whatever you want to call it, should take us no more than an hour. So we've got some ingredients that need a little more cooking time in there. Got a little, this is a little caldo seasoning, and just got a little cumin, a little garlic, a little bit of salt in there. Okay. Then I'm going to get some chorizo. This is the Frida's vegan soy rizo, and going to get that in there. That's going to give us our nice color and a lot of good flavor. That's got the little bit of, you know, chorizo has that, a lot of that paprika and chilies in it, and then has a little bit of vinegar to it as well. Let me get that going. I'm going to add some cabbage to that. Cabbage is like the star of the show to me. You get that cabbage in there, just cut it in half. You want to make sure you get that little core out there. That's a little rough part. And then this nice chunk. Cabbage starts to break down in your caldo. Really gives you a nice broth. Again, everything, you know, roughly the same size. A lot of this stuff's going to cook down. I'll go ahead and get some water in there. Here I've got some yuca, and the yuca, all I did is cut it in little pieces like this, and then just shave that peel off. So just show you what we did real quick with that. I'll just take that yuca, go down the side and just take that peel off. You could peel it with a peeler, but it's not really that easy. This is the easier way to do it. And then discard all this stuff. Get some more water. Then you want to make sure you get all that peeled off there. You want to go down about the middle of it. Just kind of cut around that core. Sometimes that core can have a really woody, fibrous part there, so we want to leave that out. We're going to put that in there nice and chunky like that. I love yuca. It really has a nice, it's really underutilized here in the States, but it really has a great texture, really creamy in a stew. Small spoon. Go back in there. We're going to take our corn and just give it some nice little pieces. It's always my favorite part when I was a kid. Fresh corn in there. Get some sweet potato here. Peeled it. More of that sweet potato. Got some just regular russet here. Peel those and clean them up. And then we're going to top that off with a little bit more water. All that cabbage will start to cook down, and this will drop down in the pot a little bit more. And then I want to taste that liquid for seasoning before it gets cooking too much. This is your chance that you get to get that salty and that salty flavor and the seasoning inside those potatoes. So you want to check that for your seasoning right now. And it needs a little bit more of that seasoning. You can see the fresh cumin in there, cumin seeds and everything. And then I like to take a little cilantro and add it in there now. You know, most people tell you you'd wait and do that at the end. But what I'm going to do is add some now in there and add it at the end, so we can really get that cilantro flavor in our caldo. And then we're going to cover this up. This you can do in your crock pot. It'd be about an hour in your crock pot. This is kind of the same thing here. Got that nice heavy lid on there. We're going to let that cook for about an hour, and we're going to check in on it. Our caldo is all finished up here. It's been going at it for about an hour. We're going to just get our cilantro. Again, we've added some in there already, and then now that we're going to take that fresh cilantro, got it in there nice and boiling hot. Get it in there. Let's check and see how everything's been cooking up. Should be getting tender. Oh yeah, you can see that yuca, nice and tender there. Cabbage is all coming apart. Sweet potatoes nice. Potatoes are good. That chorizo is thoroughly seasoned everything up. The corn is completely done. That is how we want our caldo to look when we're done right there. Just like your abuelita would have made it. Enjoy.